Hey people, I am back. We're gonna talk about inequality basics. I know you'll love it. Yeah. All right. Hello, people. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling groovy. I'm feeling, well, I'm feeling groovy. All right. So here we are, folks. Today we're going to talk about inequality basics. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're doing well. And this is the theme song from one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. If you know that song, you can send it to me here just shortly. All right. Now, let's get down to it. So, inequality basics, people. If you're feeling groovy, we need to know that we got a couple different signs we're going to be dealing with here. We got these guys. And, of course, we got these guys. All right, so there's 4 inequalities. If you know what they are, that's great. If you don't, we're going to be reviewing that right now. All right, so we're going to make us a 4 little column chart here. All my groovy friends. And as you can see, we've got one that points to the left and one that points to the right. One that's pointing left with that little line under it, and one that's pointing right with that little line under it. So if you know what they are, let's get down to it. All right, this one that points to the left, okay, that of course is just plain old less than. And the one, of course, that points to the right would be the opposite of that, and that would be old greater than. Now, if it's got the less than with that little line under it right there, okay, that little joker, that is less than or equal to. And if it's got the point to the right with the little line under it, that is greater than or equal to. Okay. Now there are also some vocabulary words I want to go through real fast, so you'll need to have some space to write these under it because you're going to be having some word problems at some point in here, of course. And when you're going to do those word problems, you want to know which symbol it's actually meaning. So if you see the words at most, all right, so at most, let's say, let's say Mr. Jenkins had at most $100 in his wallet to take his wife out to dinner. At most, okay, at most is going to be under, less than or equal to. So he could have $100 in his wallet, or he could have less than that. What's the opposite of at most? Well, that would be at least. Let's say Mr. Jenkins had at least $100 in his wallet. That means he would have $100 or more in there, and then he could take his wife out to a really nice restaurant for her Valentine's Day supper. All right. Now, the other one would be no more than. Let's say that Mrs. Jenkins had no more than 5 necklaces that she had got from Mr. Jenkins. All right. No more than. That means she would have less than or equal to 5 necklaces. She could have 0 necklaces. He could not have ever given her a necklace, and that would still be less than or equal to. What's the opposite of no more than? Well, of course, no more than. The opposite of that is no fewer than. Now, if she had no fewer than 5 necklaces, that means that he would have given her at least 5, and possibly way more than that. And I'm sure Mrs. Jenkins would really love Mr. Jenkins for that. All right. So if we see any other words that we need to come back in here, we've got some space in here. Just leave you a few lines. We may come across some words here that you may need to know in the next couple of days to add in there. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you is about when we graph these things. Okay. So when we go to graph them, what that's going to look like. So let's say you've got something like this. You got x is greater than 3, and on another one you've got x is greater than or equal to 3. So there is a difference between those two items when you graph them. Okay, so you would have a little number line here, and we're just going to do a few numbers on each side of this, and we'll have a little number line here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be plenty. So I'm going to do some numbers below 3, and I'm going to do some numbers above 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So if it's a greater than, and it is just a plain old greater than, it's going to have a little bit different look on the graph than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, so all these numbers down here, okay, are greater than. 4 is greater than 3, 5 is greater than 3, 6 is greater than 3. Same over here. 4 is greater than 3, 5 is greater than 3, 6 is greater than 3. But the thing of it is on these ones that have just a plain, okay, just plain old greater than, you're going to put an open circle and then shade it that way, because this is where all of the true answers lie. All right, you want to shade it in the direction of the true answers. So what's different about the one that's got the equal to sign underneath it? Okay, well, instead of it being an open circle on the 3, that is going to be a closed circle on the 3, and then you will shade it to the right, because all of the true answers would be this way. Okay, so you always want to shade it in the direction where the true answers are. 4 is greater than or equal to 3, 5 is, 6 is, any number, okay? 7, 8, 9, 10, all the answers, that means all the numbers coming out this way to the right are the true answers. All right, and same holds for if it's less than, okay? If you had x is less than negative 5, or x is less than or equal to negative 5, okay? Let's put this little number line down here. Again, we'll throw some numbers on there just to have a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we got negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 6, negative 7. Over here we got the same thing. Okay, so you got to have some numbers on your number line. At least 5 numbers would be good. You know, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. So we got a couple numbers there. So again, this is just a plain less than. X is less than negative 5. So at negative 5, I'm going to come put the open circle there. All the true answers, of course, again, are pointing this way. These are all the ones that are less than negative 5, so you want to shade it in that direction. All right, over here, of course, this is less than or equal to, because it's got the equal to sign underneath it. So here we're going to have that shaded in. Instead of it being open, it's going to be closed. And again, we're going to take it this way, because this is the direction for the true answers. Okay. All the true answers are coming this way, okay? So negative 10, negative 15, negative 20, whatever. Everything, all the true answers are going down here to the left. All these up here on this end are false answers. So if you put negative 3 in there, negative 3 is not less than or equal to negative 5. So you do not want to shade the false answers. You only want to shade the true answers. So in summary, okay, the less than and greater than get open circles. Okay, so those are going to be the open circle ones. And then if you got less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, they're going to get the closed circles on the graph. Okay, so plain ones, less than and greater than, get the open circles, and then the ones that have the equal to under them, that's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, they're going to have the closed circles. Okay, are you feeling good about that? I hope so. Now I'm going to take a little pause here, take a little break, and it's time for you to have your riddle of the day. Here we go. Hello, people, I'm back. All right, it's been a few days, but I've been cranking up some good ones here to get you ready for the love season here, coming up in just a few short days. So today's riddle is, what did the flame say to his buddies after he fell in love? Oh, yes. What did the flame say to his buddies after he fell in love? If you know the answer to this riddle of the day, make sure you email it into Mr. Reid, dreid@davidson.k12.nc.us, and make sure you let him know what the flame said to his buddies after he fell in love. All right, ciao for now. Okay, now, we're going to also talk about how to solve one of these here in just a few minutes. We might even do a separate lesson on that. That might be a good idea. We might do a separate lesson. But let's talk about some truths and falses for just a minute. All right, so let's talk about some truths and falses. Okay, so true, false. Okay. So you may see some questions like this. You may have like 5x plus 3 is greater than 10 if x equals negative 2. All right, so what that means is, all my smooth friends, you're going to take the negative 2 right there, and you're going to put it in for x. So let's see what happens if we substitute in the -2 for x. We're going to take that -2 and we're going to put it in right there. So that would be 5 times -2 plus 3. And is that going to be greater than 10? Let's find out. What's 5 times -2? Well, that is -10. What's -10 plus 3? Well, that's -7. Is -7 greater than 10? -7 is not greater than 10. So therefore, you would come right here beside that and write false. Okay, make sure you spell it correctly. That's F-A-L-S-E. And don't spell it flassy. That is incorrect. Every year I got a bunch of dingbats that want to tell me that's flassy. Please make sure you spell it false and not flassy. If you spell it flassy, I'm going to count it wrong. All right, let's try another one. True or false? That is false. Let's see if we've got -3n minus 6 is less than 25. All right, -3n minus 6 is less than 25 if n equals -5. All right. Now we're going to take that -5 right there, and we're going to bring it over here and substitute it in for the n. And let's see if it's true or false. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. So that would be -3 times -5 minus 6. All right, what is -3 times -5, my smooth friends? Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's 15. What's 15 take away 6? That's 9. Is 9 less than 25? Is 9 less than 25? What would you say? I'd say it's true. So I'd write down true. Now again, some of those dingbats I have are going to spell it Touré. And guess what? Touré is incorrect. So don't spell it Touré. Spell it T-R-U-E. No flassies and no Tourés in this class, people. We got false and true. All right. So, appreciate you paying attention to the lesson today. My smooth friends, don't forget, when you get done, make sure you send me a picture of your work. All right? Make sure you send me a picture of your work. Make sure if it's a less than or greater than, it's going to have a open circle on the graph. If it's a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, make sure you put it as a closed circle on the graph. And make sure you shade them in the true direction where the true answers are. If you got some of these where you got to put the numbers in, remember, spell them correctly. If it's false, that's F-A-L-S-E. If you know this song,
feel free to send me the name of the song of one of my favorite 70s and 80s TV shows. Until next time, my smooth friends, this is Smoothy Smooth wishing you a wonderful day.